Well, good morning.
Glenn, Angel, and Tim.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, good morning.
It's a beautiful day, isn't it?
The Big Show on Kiss 92.
Good morning. Good morning.
It is a beautiful day and it's about to get better, especially if you've got eczema, because I think we're going to help you out big time today. Our guest for today is Dr. Joseph Toh, once again, consultant dermatologist from Parkway Medicentre Dermatology Clinic. Welcome back, our good old friend.
Hello, good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Dr. Toh. It's wonderful that you are back here because we're going to be talking about something that I feel a lot of people suffer from, and a lot of people suffer from in silence as well. Eczema. What exactly is it?
So, eczema is an incredibly common skin condition. I think it's probably the most common complaint that I see in my clinic. It affects about 10% of the adult population in Singapore and up to 20% in children. So it is actually a group of inflammatory skin condition that manifests as red, itchy, scaly rashes, and there are multiple forms of eczema. The most common form of eczema is actually what we call atopic eczema or atopic dermatitis, where patients usually have rashes in their folds of the skin, for example, in front of their elbows, behind their knees, in the armpit, in the groins, where sweat tends to accumulate. Yeah, and they are usually associated with other atopic conditions like asthma, hay fever, or allergic rhinitis, and sometimes food allergies as well.
Right. So when we were kids, I remember getting like prickly heat. You know, on the neck, because we were like heat rash. We were running around, and we always use talcum powder. Parents would use talcum powder in the folds of your arms, back of your knees, and stuff like that. Was that eczema or was that heat rash?
So that is probably some form of eczema. So heat rash is not really a medical diagnosis, but eczema is known to flare when a person is in a very humid condition where the patient's skin is extremely sweaty or filled with perspiration, and it tends to flare when the person tends to use a lot of hot water or strong soaps, and if the person do not moisturize their skin often.
Okay.
Right. Okay, so thank you for that description. We also want to know, there is a lot of confusion here, particularly when it comes to eczema versus skin allergy. What sets those two apart?
So I always tell my patients that you can have allergies for your entire life without having eczema, and vice versa. So for example, a person with peanut allergy, you can live their entire life without eczema, and a patient with atopic eczema can also not have any allergies, but sometimes they can coexist. Most of the patients who have atopic eczema have some form of allergy, but it may not be food. It can be an environmental allergen, and the most common environmental allergen for atopic eczema patients would be house dust mite. So house dust mite is a bug that likes hot, humid environment. They feast on the skin flakes from humans. So if you are in a very humid environment, if you tend to have a very dusty environment, or if you have pets, sometimes your environment can have house dust mite.
And the mattress as well, right?
Yes.
Oof.
So, would it be accurate to say that people in Southeast Asia are a bit more prone to eczema because of our
humidity and all that.
tropical conditions?
I think so. I think that the tropical climate in Singapore or in Southeast Asia, where we are, surrounded by the seas, we tend to have a very humid environment, and we tend to be our temperature tends to be very hot. So the humid environment encourages perspiration, and obviously encourages dust mite. So yeah.
Okay.
So stay in air conditioning.
Yeah.
Amen to that.
Okay, let's continue to talk to Dr. Joseph Toh on The Big Show TV. Meantime, here's Ed Sheeran with Old Phone on Kiss 92.
I found my old phone too.
So you were talking about moisturizing being a very important part of soothing eczema. Does it cure eczema?
So unfortunately, moisturizers do not cure eczema, but it strengthens the skin barrier and therefore make you less prone to having eczema. Moisturizer is essential. Patients with atopic eczema, they tend to lack natural lipids or fats that gels our skin cells together. So if you think about it, our skin is like a brick wall. So the skin cells are individual bricks, and you need the glue or cement in between the brick walls to make it waterproof. So if you have atopic eczema, you tend to lack the necessary ceramides or lipids that bounds the skin cells together, and therefore your skin is a little bit less waterproof, so you tend to lose water from within.
Right.
So therefore, when you lose water, your skin is a little bit more dry than your peer of the same age and gender, and therefore your barrier doesn't serve its purpose of protecting you. So a normal person with no eczema, their skin barrier is strong and tough, and therefore able to resist heat, humidity, sweat, dust, hot water, strong soaps. But an eczema patient's skin doesn't have the ability to do it as well, so they tend to flare.
Can you develop eczema later on in life? Because I mean, all these things that you've described, right? Very, very helpful. You know, you tell somebody, oh, you know, maybe it's because you didn't moisturize, maybe you got the bed bugs, maybe because of the environmental conditions. But, you know, they might go, yeah, but all my life I never moisturized. All my life I live in Singapore, I lie in my bed, didn't do anything different.
Exactly.
How come now?
Yeah.
That makes some sense because as you grow older, maybe your skin will get like
Drier.
you know, drier.
It does get drier,
And
yeah.
when skin is dry, it gets itchy, and that could be a trigger.
Yes, so Tim, you're correct. Patients can get eczema later in life. So eczema comes from a combination of gene and environment. If you are genetically wired to have eczema, meaning your parents or either of your parents or both of your parents have eczema, and there's a strong family tree of eczema, the genetic predisposition of eczema is higher. You tend to get it younger. So you tend to manifest as a child. So in Singapore, about 20% of our kids have eczema. But if the genetic potential for eczema in that individual is not very high, then you can get it later in life where there is sensitization to dust mites. When the skin is aging, it gets drier by itself, and the constant use of things like hot water, strong soap over the years has progressively damaged the skin barrier, and therefore now the skin is no longer as strong as before.
In other words, don't get old.
But here, I just want to say this. I think for me, it's just the reverse. Because when I was in kindergarten and I was in, I think, primary 1 or primary 2, I had a very... Now that you're describing it, it was eczema because it was behind my legs, behind my knees.
Was it scaly?
Right here. Yeah, it was very itchy, and I remember my mom had to apply cream, to the places I could not reach, and it was very, very bad. Yeah. And I went to see a dermatologist as well when I was a kid. But then I think I remember when I hit like maybe primary 3, everything disappeared.
Yeah, so that's really lucky for you. I think many parents put in a lot of effort to maintain their children's skin and then put good moisturizers for them in hopes that they outgrow their eczema. And I think a fair proportion of parents are successful. So I mean, considering 20% of our kids have eczema, but only about 10 to 12% of the adult population has eczema. So there's some form of possibility of outgrowing your eczema, but not everybody is so lucky.
Right.
So when it comes to children, because you say a lot of parents do take care of their children's skin, is it important to start them young in terms of moisturizing and all that? Because we live in very air-conditioned environments, and air-conditioned as well dries your skin.
Yes.
So how young should it, like from the get-go, baby oils and then moisturize? Yes, okay.
From birth.
From
so
birth,
I
wow.
always encourage my patients to start moisturizing their kids' skin from young. So if they're eczema prone, start with a ceramide rich moisturizer from the get-go. Try to not use excessively hot water and avoid bathing in hot water for too long. So keep your showers or bathe time to about 5 minutes.
Temperature as well, cooler.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
And try to do what we call the soak and seal method. So once after you shower, try your best to moisturize immediately, because that's the best time to lock in the moisture.
When your skin is still damp.
Yes.
Just one more thing before Tim jumps on. You spoke about strong soaps. I mean, a lot of people use soaps that are very highly fragranced. When you speak about soaps that are good for the skin, what kind of soaps are you talking about?
Essentially soap-free cleansers. So look for things that do not foam as much. So sometimes we look for components like SLS. So SLS is a surfactant so that it can wash away the natural oils that the skin tries to produce. But not everybody has time to look through the ingredient list and be very careful. So a general rule of thumb is try and use a soap-free cleanser that doesn't foam.
Okay.
Obviously, if you have got a wash or cleanser from a reputable brand like Ceradan or CeraVe, it will be pretty good.
Okay.
But I tried that once.
How?
But no shock. I was
Yeah.
like, I need the lather and all that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But that's
Right.
better.
It's
Right.
better for the
So-
skin.
So
Yeah.
I always tell my patients, I mean, we are not rolling in the mud, so don't need to be squeaky clean. I mean, as
Yeah.
long as you are using a cleanser and
Yeah.
you wash it off, generally are pretty good.
All right.
And you want the bodily oils to remain on the skin, right? Yeah.
Bodily oils.
No, yeah, I mean the skin oils as well. You know, you don't want to squeaky clean scrub everything off, then you become dry.
So still on the topic of eczema, I believe there are different types of eczema. We'll go on air and
So
talk about
many
the 7 types. I
So many
understand.
types, yes,
Okay.
about 7 types.
All right. Stand by.
For you, I guess you moved on really easily.
Kiss 92 traffic.
All right, there's quite a bit going on, so hang with me. On the CTE towards the AYE before Brattle Road, a vehicle's broken down. On the PIE towards Changi, another broken down vehicle before Bedok North Avenue 3. On the PIE towards Changi before Tampines Street 31, please avoid lane 3, an accident. There's a blackout of traffic lights at the junction of Bedok North Avenue 3 and Bedok North Road. On the TPE towards the PIE, an accident before Lorong Halus in the rightmost lane, and vehicles broken down on the CTE towards the AYE before the PIE Tuas exit, and on the PIE towards Changi before Lornie Road. Lots to take in. If I missed anything, WhatsApp us 8855
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our guest for this morning is Dr. Joseph Toh, consultant dermatologist from Parkway Medicentre Dermatology Clinic. We love it when you come to the studio. Dr. Joseph Toh, of course, the handsomest dermatologist in Singapore.
Yes.
All right, we're talking about eczema. At some point, we're going to run through the different types of eczema. But obviously, I suppose the one thing that a lot of people are going to want to know is triggers. Now, you've talked a lot about things that can set off your eczema, okay? Everything from bed bugs, humidity, not moisturizing. But what are some of the lesser known things that people don't really think about that could be triggering eczema? And I'm going to ask for my brother here, can alcohol actually trigger eczema?
So, alcohol is not, unless you lather alcohol over your skin and using it like a shower.
Glenn?
I don't think that, yeah, but I guess there are patients who have got some sort of food sensitivity as well as food allergies. Food sensitivity is not quite the same as food allergy. Food sensitivity means you have got a non-life threatening reaction to a certain food that can cause a little bit of, gastrointestinal symptoms like bloating, and you may manifest a rash or eczema flare. But true blue food allergy is whereby you get an immediate life-threatening condition where you get hives, eye swelling, lip swelling, or even shortness of breath. Not everybody has got true allergies, but there are patients who have some sort of sensitivity. We can do testing to find out if you are allergic or sensitive to certain things, or food products or environmental allergens, but you need to see a dermatologist for that.
Right.
One common things that a lot of people forget is that eczema patients tend to have house dust mite allergy, and by extension they can get shellfish allergy because of the similarities in the shellfish protein to the dust mite protein and dropping and fecal material. So a lot of patients with dust mite allergies or eczema problems, they also report that whenever they consume prawns, crabs, lobsters or shellfish or some form, they do develop a sort of a similar reaction, especially when possibly around the mouth where they consume it.
What about hormones and stress? Because I'm asking this on behalf of my wife, right?
Definitely.
She has tried all sorts of ways to find out what is triggering her eczema. Doesn't know, right? Still haven't figured out. She started taking these jabs. So hormones, stress, how important a factor are they when it comes to?
I think stress is probably very, very important. Stress aggravates some patients to have eczema flares, and that's something that we see commonly because eczema is known to wax and wane. So patients can have good days and bad days. Whenever you are under physical stress or emotional stress, you can develop a flare. So there are good days and bad days.
Okay, we have Hel that's on our Facebook asking this question. I think I'm developing eczema in my, or is probably eczema spelled wrongly, in my early 40s. Now, what will be the next course of action for people like me?
So if it's localized to a small area and it's not too extensive, we always start with simple methods first. So as I mentioned just now, avoid hot water, avoid harsh soaps, and start using a good moisturizer with ceramide inside to rebuild the barrier. You might want to consider topical treatment. Topical treatment in the form of medications often contains steroids, but steroids in the private areas or genitalia is never a good idea because corticosteroids can thin the skin. So we don't want to use steroids excessively in thin skin areas like the genitalia. So there are actually non-steroid alternative medications that our derm can prescribe to help with the eczema down there.
Okay.
I think it would be best if you just go and consult Dr.
Joseph Toh. Yes.
So you can see, for himself, what type of eczema you have and how bad it is. We've been speaking to Dr. Joseph Toh, consultant dermatologist from Parkway Medicentre Dermatology Clinic. We'll continue to talk to Dr. Toh on The Big Show TV. It's 8:23.
Kiss 92 Time Check brought
Yeah, lots of people on our Facebook saying that they've stopped using anything fragrance. Mol says she can't even wear any form of accessories now. Does it affect people that badly?
Yeah, so this listener probably has some form of contact eczema. So contact eczema is actually one type of eczema where the patient develops a local reaction where it comes to contact with an allergen. So one of the common things that we see in the clinic is patients with nickel contact allergy or contact eczema to nickel. So sometimes it can be in the form of the watches, where if it's a metal that is made with nickel, or around the belt area where you have the belt that is made from nickel, that can manifest as contact eczema. Obviously, when you have got something sitting on your skin, you tend to accumulate sweat there as well, and the sweat itself will aggravate eczema.
Okay.
So it's sweat. Sweat can just irritate.
Trigger.
It's not meant to be
eczema.
left on the skin for prolonged periods of time, so we just wipe off.
So if people are exercising, I mean, there people are running, people are at the gym and all that, always have a towel and
To wipe off, yeah.
Okay, so don't be dripping in sweat.
Yeah.
Okay.
So eczema patients definitely can exercise, and we encourage all eczema patients to exercise, but just be mindful not to leave your sweat on for long periods of time.
Okay.
I feel like it's very tricky because on one hand, you don't want to be sweaty or oily, but on the other hand, if you're in aircon and it's too dry, something or other is still going to affect you.
It is a fine balance. So even in air-conditioned environment, if you're in a 24/7 aircon environment, it actually encourages house dust mites to start circulating. So we tell my patients, ventilate your room. So maybe keep your air conditioning to maybe in the morning, where it's where you are at night where it's cooler, open the windows and ventilate, so that you have a chance to let the air ventilate. In a closed system where it's 24/7 air conditioned, it encourages dust mite to fester.
And it's recycled air as well.
So it constantly, the skin flakes in the air or your pet's hair.
Oh god. You mentioned heat is no good for someone with eczema. What about things like saunas and steam rooms?
Yeah, so excessive hot environment and perspiration definitely can. So steam room saunas can aggravate eczema if you are in it for long periods of time.
Okay.
So if it's a short period of time, usually it's still okay. But if you're going to a hot spring, onsen, sauna, just be careful because those will make your skin a little bit sensitive. So I always tell my patients, if you're going overseas, like maybe to Japan, just keep your onsen time short.
Is it contagious at all?
Eczema is not contagious, but it tends to run in the family. So if your dad has eczema, your mom has eczema, you tend to have it. If your kids have eczema, maybe they got it from you, so you may get it eventually.
Okay.
But eczema is very, very common.
So what's this wonderful moisturizer that you would recommend?
So I definitely recommend patients to use something rich in ceramide. So not all ceramides are made the same. So you want to look for products that have the good ceramide. So usually we look for ceramide 1, ceramide 3 and ceramide 6, and we want it in a certain combination. So
Sorry, what exactly is a ceramide?
Ceramide are lipids or fats that gels the skin cells together.
I see. And there are good and bad ceramides?
No, I wouldn't say they are good and bad ceramides, but they are ceramides that are more important for an eczema patient to rebuild the barrier. So there are there are naturally occurring ceramides that your skin can produce, but there's also synthetic ceramides. So ceramides are not all made the same in terms of the ability to rebuild a barrier. So we want ceramide 136, and we also want ceramide in a certain combination that mimics the skin barrier. So ceramide 3:1:1 ratio with ceramide 3 of ceramide, 1 of cholesterol, and 1 of fatty acids helps to mimic the natural skin barrier and therefore rebuilds it.
How will we know though? I mean, we're going to the shelf and we're like, oh, I need a 3, I need a 1, I need a 1, and I need to use it in this
Give
order.
me a brand. I'll just go look for the brand.
Like
I think
we know?
Ceradan is definitely one of the better brands.
How do you
out there.
spell that?
C-E-R-A. R-A or R-E?
Ceradan.
yeah.
Ceradan.
Ceradan.
Ceradan actually has a pretty good moisturizer. So also we want to look for moisturizers which has a low pH because it allows better absorption of the moisturizer, and number 2 is that a lower pH tends to help reduce the bacterial load on the skin, and bacterial load on the skin can cause an eczema patient to flare. So something with a good 3:1:1 combination with good ceramide content and a low pH would be good.
And this one got no steroids inside, right?
Oh, this is a moisturizer.
Yeah.
So you can use
Moisturizer.
it day in, day out as often as you want.
On the face as
Yes.
well, sorry?
Yes,
yes,
you
on the
can
face,
use
okay.
ceramide-based moisturizer on the face, but you need to be careful about the texture because you don't want to use something too oily and you get acne breakout, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
So
alright.
something more lightweight like a lotion or a gel cream that is more for the face.
I was just talking to Angel about moisturizing the other day actually, because I was telling her, I'm like, I think my skin looks a bit dry now.
Yeah.
I need like a moisturizer. So this is very timely. Ceradan.
Yes.
Ceradan. It's only one type of moisturizer.
No, so Ceradan has a wide range of products, but
I want the best.
I've
As in,
got the
like,
website,
what
I'll
should
link
I-
you guys.
Ceradan Advanced is pretty good if you're eczema prone, but if you have got mild eczema and you want something lightweight, you can use Ceradan Hydra. Ceradan Hydra is very lightweight.
So we've all seen people with skin that is scaly and shiny.
Yeah.
That is way beyond help. I mean, that obviously is very, very, very dry skin.
Scaly and shiny.
Yeah, because I feel like the ones with very scaly skin, they become shiny. I don't understand why. Maybe because it's very thin. I don't know how the skin works.
Maybe.
Yeah,
So
and you can literally see like
Yeah.
crocodile scales
Yeah.
on the skin.
Wow.
So something like Ceradan will help.
yes, if you have extremely scaly skin, you might also want to look for components like urea, which cells of exfoliates the skin, or things like salicylic acid that has in low concentration in your moisturizer, which tends to help to exfoliate the dead scales. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, doctor, your trained eye. Have a look at my arm right now. On a scale of 1 to 10, how dry is my skin?
4.
Oh, not
So that's not too
too
dry. It's not
bad
too bad.
for someone who's been out in the
Yeah.
sun.
And never moisturize. I want to moisturize my
Time to
whole
start
body.
now.
Time to start before you
now.
scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to
No.
scale.
Okay.
But back to Angel's point, you know, I mean, with the scaly skin and all that. Honestly, I suppose if you're very unlucky,
Yeah.
these breakouts, the scaly, it could end up on your face.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So particularly for the ladies, right? Then what do? You cover it up with makeup, right? Can the makeup you use to cover up your eczema breakout actually make it even worse?
I think so, because if it's very occlusive, that encourages difficulty to wipe off your sweat, and individuals who wear makeup are less likely to wipe out their sweat when they try to preserve their makeup.
Then how? What do they do?
So
How do
maybe
they leave the house?
Just try and cut down on the use of makeup that is too occlusive or oil based. Choose something more lightweight. If you can, don't wear makeup. I think that if you are flaring, obviously, if it's a bad day, you want to cover up. You can, but choose other options like wearing a mask, which may be a little bit better.
Okay, we've got quite a few queries on Facebook.
All this, getting free consultation
Yes,
from
yes,
the doctor.
of course, yes. Clement says, beyond the use of steroids, what should I do to better control or treat eczema? And I suppose you answered that already with the low fragrance soaps, right? And the temperature of the water and moisturizing.
Also, we were also saying like we don't know whether this is eczema or whether maybe it's just an allergic
Reaction.
or whatever.
Yeah.
So as we said, I mean, we'll try and answer your question as much as possible, but I mean, better still, go and look for Dr. Joseph Toh.
So should I go on or
Go
no?
on, go on.
Okay, all right. Joel's asking, does consuming supplements like collagen improve eczema or help to avoid eczema?
No, I wish it could, but
Okay.
I think it's just a waste of.
So that
Is it just a novelty?
Sorry, correct. I was just going to ask, are there foods that can help?
No,
No
I don't think
foods
so.
at all.
I don't think so. I think you just eat a well-balanced diet. I don't think that if you have a true allergy, then you avoid that. If you have some sort of food sensitivity, avoid that. But other than that, there's no magic food that makes you less eczema prone.
But that time I was feeling a bit itchy. I had one Guinness stout. I was okay after that.
Magic.
Magic. Traffic.
Okay, going for traffic update.
Of news you can trust. Online at straitstimes.com.
Kiss 92.
I listen all day. My favorite station. We love it.
Kiss 92.
Turn it up.
Kiss 92 traffic.
Okay, quite a bit going on out there. On the PIE towards Changi before Stevens Road, an accident has been spotted. Also on the PIE towards Changi, but this time before Eng Neo Avenue, a vehicle has broken down. Elsewhere on the SLE towards the CTE, a vehicle has broken down at the Mandai Avenue entrance. And on the CTE towards the AYE before Orchard Road, an accident in lane 3. Wherever you are this morning, stay safe.
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Today our guest is Dr. Joseph Toh, consultant dermatologist from Parkway Medicentre Dermatology Clinic. And we've covered almost everything, but I'd like to come back to this because I think we may have been talking about this on The Big Show TV early on. Food allergies and eczema. I want to use a personal example because I think you mentioned hives just now. Is hives also a type of eczema?
So
No,
hives
right?
is the layman term for the medical condition called urticaria. So patients with hives or urticaria may also have eczema, but they're two separate conditions, so they are distinct.
I tell you, once I looked like the Thing in Fantastic Four.
Oh, no.
After consuming shellfish.
Yeah.
I remember I was in secondary school. There was the Malay stall selling some mussels, and I ate it, and I just broke out like half an hour later into hives, huge hives, and it was only then that I realized, oh my god, am I like allergic to shellfish, or am I allergic to
Mussels in particular?
Mussels, I mean, still in the shell, obviously, right?
Have you eaten mussel since?
Yeah. So 2 weeks after I had that terrible breakout, I had the mussels again, just to make sure that I was not allergic to the mussels. Maybe I had something else, and then I broke out again. Yeah, so I realized that it was that,
Yes,
right?
it's quite likely.
But I have overcome, I'm very happy to say, my allergy.
Because he just kept eating the mussels
I
until
kept on eating the mussels until my allergy went away.
I was going to say, because now you go to the gym, so you're full of muscles anyway.
Not really, but can someone overcome allergies by continuing to?
Yes, I
Oh,
think
really?
you can,
Expose yourself to-
constant exposure can lead to sensitization, and you can sort of desensitize yourself.
Especially if you don't your throat doesn't close up or you don't put yourself in danger.
Don't do
right?
it if you have a peanut allergy or whatever.
Yeah,
No, that's
anaphylactic
a
shock, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Do
Very
not
itchy,
listen to
though.
anything that Glenn is saying. Please don't do it.
All right. One last question for you, Doctor, for everyone who is tuned in again. What is the name of that moisturizer we're talking about? Because I think it's very important. I'm going to get it today for sure and start moisturizing.
So start looking at Ceradan, go to their website and pick up something. If you are looking for something that is better for eczema patients, look for Ceradan Advance.
Okay.
If you are looking for something lightweight, go with Ceradan Hydra.
Okay, so the website is ceradan.com.
Get some Ceradan for...
Yeah, I was going to say, when you go and
for
get for
Sabrina.
yourself, can you pick one up for Sabrina as well?
Sure.
The advanced one.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to get Ceradan moisturizer today. Thank you so much, Doctor, for joining us.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure to have you in the
Thank
studio
you.
with us.
Thank you.
We've been speaking to Dr. Joseph Toh, consultant dermatologist from Parkway Medicentre Dermatology Clinic.
This segment was brought to you by Ceradan, dermatologist trusted and